Every bottle tells a story. A spritz for the moments we cherished, a mist for the dreams we chased, and drops that lingered long after the moment was gone. Today I'm sharing my empty bottles. Bottles that I've emptied this year, 2024. And bottles that are near empty and probably will be by the airing of this video. These little glass vessels are now void of their essence, yet they've left me brimming with appreciation for the memories they've helped me create. These fragrances weren't just scents, they were companions. They whispered confidence on quiet mornings, wrapped me in comfort on stormy nights, and danced on my skin during celebrations. Take this one. Have a good look. You've seen this bottle before. The juxtaposition of a stern and cold iris with the warmth of cacao always put me in a relaxed and yet solemn state of mind. A lot has been said about the masterpiece that is Dior Homme. But to me, this is what I want my skin to smell like after a shower. It has the bad habit of putting me in a creative mood really late at night, when I actually should be sleeping. And it does this because it doesn't actually intrude on my thoughts. It actually provides me with an empty space for my thoughts to fill. And now that I've emptied another bottle of it, I guess it's time to move on to the other bottle of it that I have. I don't think I ever want to be without this. One after the other. This one though, I don't know if it's a lifelong thing or a short-term fling during this summer season. I've had this for less than 2 months and it gives me an uplifting feeling of bright energy because it puts a smile on my mind every time I smell it and every time I wear it. The blast of mint with citruses and apricot is unlike anything I've ever smelled. I've got a lifelong history with apricots, going from climbing and hanging out in my granddad's apricot tree to the apricot trees that my dad has planted in his gardens throughout the years, to the ones that are actually in my living room at the moment. Nothing store-bought can ever compare to that. And I have to add that many of the LV Freshies give me that same sense of euphoric positivity, and I've figured out why. It's because they're done by a perfumer called Jacques Cavalier Belletrude, who, along with being the master of the fragrance molecule called Cologne 1951, which is that watermelon that's been dropped into the seawater kind of smell, which is famous for being in fragrances like L'Eau d'Issey from 1992 and 1994, and Agua de Loewe from 1996. Both creations of Cavalier, by the way, and fragrances of the 90s and early 2000s. So I have a very nostalgic connection to scents that embody these elements, these vibes. The LV Freshies give off a little bit of a 90s vibe, which, if you don't know, has been making a bit of a comeback in recent times. Even though Pacific Chill has no cologne in it, I still get that vibe. It stands as one of the bottles I've paid a lot of money for. And now that it's soon to be emptied, well, the only thing left is to get it refilled, of course.
No, I'm not a writer. Okay.
As fast as I've emptied that one, it doesn't even come close to the bottle that I've emptied the fastest, which is this one right here, from Loewe. I've emptied this one the fastest. This holds the record. This very light, airy, transparent, fruity citrus. Anyone who says that this doesn't have good performance is missing the point. The point being is that this is probably the most perfect hot weather scent of all time. I don't make that claim lightly. I'll come closer to give you a proper look at the bottle. Nice, frosted, and aquatic blue. Even though it's not really an aquatic, kind of does give a little bit of a saltiness to it as well. It not only has this cooling element is that it cools you down as you spray it on. It also keeps you in an elegant state of mind because of how well it's actually put together. Yes, projection is not the greatest, longevity is not the greatest either. But guess what? A perfumer can actually make this particular scent perform and project better if they were asked to do so. But that wasn't in the brief, because the brief didn't call for beast mode. Not everything has to be beast mode. This bottle got emptied in a matter of weeks during our last family holiday to Japan. It was super hot every day and kind of humid as well, and this was perfect. Every time I smell it, I'm transported back to that trip and all the fun we had. And for that, I'm very appreciative. I'm also appreciative that over almost a decade and a half, countless reformulations and batch variation chit-chat and new company takeover chit-chat, I treat it all like noise. Noise that I mute because I know that any variation of Aventus is still Aventus. Many have tried to copy this, and many have failed to capture its essence, its elusive essence. If they had, no one would be buying this. People would be buying the clones, the copies, at 10 times less the price. Give any bottle a few years to mature and it will come good, just like any other batch. And I know I've kept this a little bit quiet, but I do wear this very regularly, especially when I can't think of anything else. I mean, it's not a dumb reach. It's the reach for when I need to feel like the guy who runs shit. And that seems to be more often than I thought this year. That's why this is empty. See? That's why I've only finished this bottle this year, but I'm halfway through the next one that I bought this year as well. So this probably will end up on my list next year as well. Let me get closer for this one. This is a keeper. And just because it's worn by asshats all around the world doesn't mean that you should deny yourself the chance to smell good. Good to other men. I joke. But think about this. People aren't blind to context. If an asshat is wearing Aventus, it's gonna smell brash, it's gonna smell cheap. Compared to, say, a classy, well-dressed gentleman who's wearing Aventus, it's gonna smell like the CEO of your insecurities just walked by and ignored your basic ass just like you knew it would. Now, this next one doesn't come with as much pretense, but it did get a lot of fanfare a few years ago. Xerjoff are the official sponsors of the Nietzsche ATP tennis tournament in Turin, Italy. This is supposed to smell like tennis. It was released in 2021 for that tournament. Now, I get a few perks every now and then with my job, and I had a vendor who took me out and some of my colleagues to the tennis one year. No, they didn't fly us to Italy. This was for the Australian Open. But it was nice nonetheless, and I got to see Djokovic play the Australian young guy, De Minaur, that was his name. I don't remember who won. I do remember copious amounts of alcohol and a very interesting trip back home. And since that happened on a Monday, having to go to work on Tuesday was even more interesting. However, I do recall before the beers started to flow, the grounds of the arena, the Aussie summer sunset, tennis in the air, beats in the air, and party vibes. And cutting through all of that were sharp citruses and the fresh cut grass that are in Torino 21. No one And I mean, no one does photorealistic citruses quite the same way that Xerjoff does. Every time I wear this, it makes me feel fresh and invigorated. And the amazing thing is that it never fades from that freshness. And now that it's empty, all I'm left with are the times that I reach for this, and on the brightest of sunny days which replay inside my mind's eye. This one, though, will not be replaced. I can't tell you why, but it just won't. But one that will be replaced is this. I'll give you a hint. It's made by this guy. Well, not exactly him. It's made for the house of Issey Miyake. This is Le Bleu d'Issey. And I say that this will be replaced because this is one of the very few fragrances that I still have a backup bottle for. I don't know why. They haven't discontinued it or anything. I just have a backup just in case, because this is something that I want to keep going. The cypress in here is not realistic. None of the other notes are, but they all combine together to give it a very green feel. Not blue. It's called blue. Its color of the bottle is blue, but in and of itself, it is kind of green, but with a bluish kind of tint. So does that make it purple? Is that what it does? I don't think so. And I reach for this anytime the weather gets slightly cooler from hot or slightly warmer from cold, which is quite often here. And that's why it's almost finished. Lots of memories with this one. Walking through nature, through national parks and forests with the family, just enjoying the crisp air of wherever we were out in nature. That's when I usually go for this. So I don't think I reach for this when I'm going to the office or anything like that. It just makes me feel like it's an outdoors kind of thing. Adore it. Really nice. And an extremely, probably out of all of these so far, this is stupidly underrated. And the fact that you can pick it up for 20 bucks just makes it an amazing deal as well. Wow. Last but not least is this. Anyone who watches fragrance channels knows what this is. If you can't see it, this is Bentley For Men Intense. And this bottle I've had for a while now. I think I bought this in 2017. It is a 2016 batch, and it's been getting lower and lower. I've only worn it once or twice a year in the last 4 to 5 years. But I burned through it when I initially had it, and that is because I was coming off a real love for this particular fragrance. I remember back in 2016 finding a website called Palm Beach Perfumes, and they were selling travel atomizers, 30 ml travel atomizers that come in like this flat, sort of thick credit card looking sort of device with a spray mechanism. And they were selling 30 mLs of Bentley For Men Intense for $5. $5. I bought 4 of them. 120 mils of Bentley For Men Intense, and I burned through it. It was just amazing. I would get compliments and it would last for a long time. I didn't need to overspray it. It was my signature scent, I think, throughout most of 2016. And then the year after, I bought this and I wore it in 2017 as well. And then I started to sort of wane away from it as my taste sort of developed a little bit more. But I do have fond memories of wearing this. It is quite good. It's still quite good. And I think that given some time to mature in the bottle, this will also smell very good. Will I replace this? Probably not. Like I said, I'm over it, and even if I don't finish what's in here, I probably won't end up wearing this ever again. But I do appreciate the times that I had it. Empty bottles aren't just emptiness. They're symbols of experiences that you appreciate and look back on for the moments that they've graced and the feelings that they stirred and the stories that they helped you to tell. And as I bid farewell to these bottles, I welcome new ones into the fold, into the werection. New scents, new memories, new stories waiting to be written. Because whilst these bottles may empty, my appreciation for them never does. Have a great 2025, everybody, and thank you all, as always, for watching.